Right, welcome back to another episode. We've got the shrinker stretcher at last. Bit of a saga with getting this. I ordered it ages ago, not long after a couple of videos ago I mentioned that had one on order. Well, that one took forever to arrive. Oh, it didn't even arrive. It got as far as the Parcel Force depot, and I had a letter from Parcel Force telling me that I had to pay them £91 import fees before they would bring it to my door. So I contacted the eBay seller that was based in Germany, and to be fair to them, they said, well, they're getting this sometimes, not other times. So they just said, look, send the package back and we'll refund you, and they did brilliantly. So I then had to order again from a UK seller, which cost a bit more but was less if you factor in the £91 import tax. So, so that's where we are at the moment. But hey ho, it's still a budget thing. It still didn't cost a fortune. I think it was £225. I think I paid for it on Freebay, and you'll see it was out the box. It just didn't work. I was quite disappointed with it out the box. But after googling and YouTube and what have you, all the resources we all go to, found a way of making it work, and now it works really well. I'm really pleased with it now. For just a little bit of fettling, and it's come to work a treat. So keep watching. You'll see how we get that thing working, and my appraisal of it and what I think of it at the end. I've already had this open, too excited, but I'll show you what we got. The shrinker stretcher machine has finally arrived, and it's a beast. The size of the thing I haven't got particularly small hands. Yeah, I got a 6-inch rule or 150mm rule, so what's that? That's best part of 300mm across there. So it's a chunk of a machine. Fair play. Right, let's get the thing out and see what it does. It's a hefty piece of steel there. Shrinker dies. It's come with the stretcher dies in it, and a description of how to make it, put it in the stand, which we don't have, but I suspect we'll end up making one of them somewhere along the line. Hopefully they show pictures of what the stand looks like, so that's good. Keep hold of that. Yeah, there's a weight on it. Right, the Allen key to slot that in place. 3mm. So 3mm Allen key to go into there. We can get that into place. Bit of aluminium. Let's see what happens. Yeah, got a bit of a stretch on this. Right, I think I need to bolt this down. It's got a bit of a rock in that last sleeper over the years. It's gone a bit warped. I could take that out with a couple of washers, I suppose, underneath there somehow. Right, let's give that a whirl again. I can get some weight behind it. Oh, now we can see it, but moving. Lovely. Okay, let's swap it out for the shrinkers then. Have a go with those. Right, you can see how it works there, look. As it pushes down, spreads those apart like that. It's got little teeth in them which bites into the metal. You're finding a nice home for those somewhere. So you can see, I can imagine them rotting quite quickly, especially in a damp garage. Same there. These are sprung loaded together. As you push on them, they're being pushed apart. Yeah, simple and elegant. Not brilliant quality, but maybe I can get better dies for it. Right, let's see what these are like. I would imagine it's going to be the shrinkers I'm going to be using mostly, rather than the stretchers, I would have thought. And these are the opposite. Let's ruin the other end of this. So if we're going to shrink, this should bring this in around. It's not having a huge effect on that. What are we doing wrong here? Let's try it on a bit of steel. See if it's any better. I'm not entirely convinced this is any good. The dies seem to be a bit rubbish. Now they're supposed to be spread apart like that and shrink in as they press together like so. But by the time you got this, it's falling a bit. By the time this is actually up onto there, to get it to actually fit onto there, that is fully compressed in. Like so. So can't compress any further. Only the bottom one is compressing in. Let's come out of its thing now. So this is a bit of a disappointment, I've got to say. I think this may be a case of buy cheap, buy twice. Yeah, not entirely convinced that's going to work. By the time you got that spread up onto there to fit onto there, that's having to pull that die tight. It ain't doing anything. Okay. And it's not a very smooth action either. It's quite coarse on there. Right, after doing a little bit of Googling and watching other guys on YouTube who've bought these similar sort of cheap and cheerful jobs, the basic problem is how rough that finish is there and there. Now on there, that's supposed to be rough because it's supposed to grab the metal and shuffle it around. But that should be smooth because that has to slide. Oh, try it on the right side. That is supposed to focus, slide smoothly up and down on there. And if you can hear that, but that is just that is rough. So the answer seems to be grind down and polish up these surfaces so that these slide better. And in the process, I may shrink it a little bit so this wire may be just the right size once it's all been polished up properly. So we'll give that a go and see what happens. That slides a bit smoother. It's not even polished up yet. That's a massive difference already. Okie doke, let's see what we can polish them up with. Let's try some 600 grit. Yeah, it hasn't got the 600, it's 600 grit paper on there, on the block. Let's see if we can tidy this up. Doesn't appear to be a particularly hard metal, which is a worry. And my thinking is, if I keep the strokes left to right, or longitudinally, that's going to help with it gliding, I think. Yeah, that's a lot smoother. With a bit of grease on them as well. I think we're on to a winner, but we'll see. Power tools are the answer. I had this out of a skip. Stuff people throw away. Amazing, isn't it? Nicer. Right, let's put our spring back in. Yes, that's much nicer. Sliding around nicely, that is. Okie doke. We've got enough, just the scrapings left in there to slide around that. That'll do me very nicely indeed. Next question is our little spring clip here. I have seen that those need to be bent to right angles. I noticed that on a couple of videos, so let's do that. So I think this may make our short spring situation a little bit worse, but we'll see what happens. Now we've still got the same problem with the jaw being jammed up tight together because the spring. So I need to have a think about what we can do about that. Right, with the spring removed altogether, you can see how that jaw will move around. So the spring length is definitely a problem. Of course, we need a spring there because we need to lift this jaw up in between each strike so you can get the material in and out. And the answer may simply be cut a groove in the top of this for that to drop into. Just enough. So I could go little by little and try that out. I've got to polish up the bottom jaws yet, but if we can get the top jaw working, that'd be a start. Right, so very roughly cut a groove into that, about the depth of my wire. So we try that back in the machine now and see if that makes a difference. Right, let's give that a whirl, see if it makes any difference. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a massive, huge difference. Look at that. Whew. Oh yeah. And I haven't polished up the bottom ones yet. Okay. That's made that into a usable machine. Yes. I think we can do something with that. Lovely. Right, I now have both jaws cleaned up, and you'll see they're moving very freely now. And I had a quick play with them off camera, and look at my shape. I've managed to get into that just by messing around with the shrinker stretcher, and then going over my dolly to clean out the bump out the lumps in it, and I'm well happy with that. Okay, so initially I was disappointed with that because it didn't seem to work, but with a little bit of fiddling and a little bit of fettling to tidy it up, that actually works a treat. Right, there is a little bit of flex in between there and there, but it's not enough to worry about. And I think if it does become a problem, especially if I'm just shrinking the small stuff, I can make a plate to go between these fixings here to hold that solid. So it should be like a shallow shrinker then, and for the deeper stuff I just have to work around it as I'm working my way in. But I think the shallow stuff I'll be doing first as I learn and get better with it. Okay, so if you do buy one of these cheapy cheerful jobs off eBay, polish up the dies and groove that anvil there to so that effectively shortens the spring even, to so those can have some movement in them. I think the next challenge is to make a foot pedal. Let's have a play with another bit of metal I've messed around with. So this is a bit of metal I've messed about with on the bead roller and sort of tipped an edge on it. So if we put that in the shrinker, we should be able to pull this around. Yes, I can see this being a very useful tool. All sorts of applications for that, not least tubbing the arches. So the advantage of this one, so how we got this shape into this, is the deep shrinking arrangement. So we can demonstrate a little bit of that. Definitely the further you go in, the harder it is to get the shrink on it. So this is where the that stretch is going to be a problem. Cross that bridge later down the line. But you really get a sense of how much that is shrinking that round, and then with that just get that on the dolly to smooth that out, and happy days. Of course an English wheel would be the best thing, but we don't have the space for an English wheel in here. Maybe a little vice mounted one we can make up perhaps for the project for another day. Right, thanks for watching, and again you'll see it's a little bit of work, a little bit of fettling, and it's working a treat. So if you are in the market or thinking of buying one of these, I would recommend it. I haven't, this not been supplied like the other tools. This is I paid for this one, so they're not sponsoring me. They're all much of a muchness. There's about half a dozen different eBay sellers selling the same thing. It has what looks like a cast appearance, but after looking at some of the other YouTubers who fettled with these, it would appear that it's actually it's all made out of plate and then welded together to make it look like cast. So, which explains why there's a bit of give in it there. And like I said earlier, if I find that's a problem, then I'll make a plate to spread across those. I have noticed that the smaller shrinker stretchers, these come as one unit, which does bridge that gap there, which is interesting. But no, I want this to be able to come. There's a nut there, it's getting in the way. I've noticed that before. Oh, sorry, got distracted. So easily distracted. Yeah, so, but I want this for the deep throat arrangement. Hopefully I'll be able to work out how to use this and make some really useful panels out of it. But even in the meantime, even if I just use the edge shrinking ability on it, that's going to be a big help along with the projects as we go along. So thanks for watching. Like I said, if you are going to buy one of these, don't be afraid to buy it. It's okay. It's a good bit of kit for the money, but it does need fettling to get it to work. And don't forget, a few have already left some questions ready for the question and answer session, which Aid wants to do at some point in the future. So I'm keeping those to one side. I'm not answering them straight away through YouTube, so don't be offended if you're not getting a reply. I'm just going to keep those to one side, and then when we do our question and answer session, I'm toying with the idea of doing that live. I'm not quite sure how to go around doing that. The lad who runs what was a Capri vlog, he's changed his name of that now, and I can't remember what it's called now. Is it the Dizzy Cap or something like that? He's called it. He did a live session, and that seemed to go quite well. So I might look into that. So give me your thoughts on that if you'd like me to do a live session. If I do, it'll be on a Wednesday evening around sort of 7 o'clock-ish. So that's Wednesday night is a garage night mostly. I get in on the weekends a little bit sometimes, so you'll see, like, it's dark outside now. Sometimes you'll see it daylight, sometimes it's dark. If it's daylight, it's a weekend. If it's dark, it's a Wednesday evening. So there we go. Thanks again for watching, and if you're a subscriber, big thumbs up as usual. Big thank you for those that subscribe, and if you're a watcher, not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. It makes a big difference to the channel. But believe me, I can't believe how much difference it does make, but it does make a big difference. So thank you again.